One of my favorite Christmas memories is that my mom had a special hand-knit stocking for each of us 3 kids growing up, and every year I look so forward to her hanging those across our railing. And I think it's finally my year to make a handmade stocking for all 7 kids and also my husband and I. I'm fortunate to have some beautiful things that were passed down to me from my grandmother in Greece. One favorite in particular is a blanket. It's this gorgeous deer motif, and my mom used to keep our beds warm in the wintertime by using these blankets. In fact, that deer vignette is such a favorite of mine that it has shown up in a few of my fabric prints, and now in this beautiful embroidery. I use the Digitizer MBX software to create an embroidery from the artwork, and in fact my gift to you this year is letting you use the same embroidery. We've got it at the website for you in several different file formats so that you can embroider some gorgeous items for your home for the holiday season or really all around the year. In addition to printing out the instructions for the Heirloom stocking and also downloading the free embroidery pattern, you're going to need a few materials to get started. I have 2/3 yard of this pretty pale blue cotton linen blend. That's what I'm going to do my embroidery on. I also have 2/3 yard of this cute print that's going to line the stocking and also fold down as a cuff at the top. I have interfacing for the embroidery step. I've got a coordinating thread for construction, and I've chosen this really pretty bright embroidery thread for our deer design. I'm going to use fabric shears instead of a rotary cutter to carefully cut around the curves of the stocking, and I'm going to trace that stocking out first with this fabric pen. And now I cannot wait to show you the gorgeous embroidery that this machine is going to do for you. I can just simply find my digitized deer design on the computer and begin sewing. Once my Heirloom design was digitized, it was so easy to load it into the computer. In fact, I have 3 different choices of how to do that. I can just connect my machine to my computer. I can place the design on a jump drive and insert it in one of the USBs. I can even send the design from the computer to the machine wirelessly, which is so amazing. I know that pressing the start button means this machine can handle everything on its own and I can go do something else, but I actually find watching it happen pretty mesmerizing. The accuracy of this machine is absolutely amazing. I kind of find myself now thinking of other designs that I can digitize and what other beautiful things I can make with this machine. And coming from someone who loves doing embroidery by hand, I think that's actually saying a lot. I have both stocking pieces for the outer stocking and the lining stocking all cut out and ready to go. And you can see that I've got the embroidery design sort of centered here where I want it to be. In order to get it in the center position, I decided by looking at my template about where I wanted it to be, and I drew a line across the template. And that is going to then get folded on the line that's drawn and then lined up with the horizontal center of the design. Then you can open up the template and then you can use your marker to trace all the way around the design, and then once that's finished you can trim it out. I went ahead and cut a piece of interfacing as large as the linen so that the whole front of the stocking is going to remain interfaced to have lots of nice body. Now we can get on to the sewing of the stocking. To begin the sewing, it's as simple as placing the stocking pieces, the outer 2 pieces, right sides together and pinning them all the way around from one top edge down the bottom and back up again. We're going to do that with 1/2 inch seam allowances, and since we've got some curved spots here, I'm going to place some pins all the way around to make sure they stay where they're supposed to. I'm so excited about trying out this design with lots of different colors. In fact, I think I'm going to do one stocking for every member of my family in a different color of thread on linen. It's going to be gorgeous. Okay, so let's take it to the machine. We're going to sew all the way around the stocking with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now after that's sewn all the way around, take some notch clips out of the curves so that when we turn the seam allowances in, they'll lay nice and smoothly. You don't have to do this on the straight passes, just around the curves of the foot. Then you can turn the stocking right side out and press it nice and smooth. And with the lining pieces, we can sew all the way around from top of one side, down the bottom, and up the other side again. But this time, stop and then start again, leaving yourself about an 8-inch or 6-inch opening in one long side so that we can pull through to the right side once we align the top of the stockings together. I'm just going to pin it in place, and sew again with 1/2 inch seam allowances. I've just finished sewing the lining. I left an opening so that we can pull through to the right side after we've sewn the top together. And I've also notched around the curves just as I did the outer stocking. See, this pretty outer stocking now is all turned out and pressed, and we're going to leave it on its right side and fit it down into the right side of the lining. I'm going to slide my hand down inside the outer stocking to make it easy to slide inside the lining. I feel like I'm wearing a hot pad. In fact, this little embroidery design would be gorgeous on any table linens, runners, placemats, napkins, anything that you want to put out for the holidays. Even a whole group of deer maybe running around a tree skirt would be really pretty. And all we need to do is align the top edges of the stocking. If you haven't pressed the seams open yet, you could just do that now, or you could press them from one side to the other. And I'm just going to pin them in place at the seam allowances here. It's also probably a good time to remove that extension table off the machine to expose the free arm to make this really easy to just sew all the way around with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Alright, now all we need to do is pull the outer stocking through the hole that's been left in the lining. Carefully tug it through. Oh, I love this print with that pale blue. It's awesome. Now, like with any small escape route, we just need to do a quick top stitch at the machine on the edges of those folds to close it up. We don't want any candies slipping through. Okay, now all we need to do is stuff the stocking. We need to put that lining down inside the main stocking. Oh, it's already so cute. I love it. So you can just fiddle around with that until you have it nice and smooth. And then press around the top edge. There's really no reason to top stitch this unless you just want to. In fact, if you wanted to put a row of pom-poms or something like that, you could include that in that seam around the top that we just did, or you could hand sew some on. But once you have that pressed, you could just turn down to reveal a little bit of the print from the top. And if you wanted a bigger cuff, you can just amend the stocking pattern size to be even taller so you have a larger fold down space. That looks really cute. So I'm going to give this a quick press and then just attach a loop for hanging. There's just one prep step for the loop to get it ready. I've got this little 2x10 piece of fabric here. I'm going to fold it in the middle for a crease and then fold the edges in to the inside to that center fold and fold again. So basically I'm just making a 1/2 inch hem on both sides, but folding all together and top stitching down the middle. Okay, so now we just need to fold the ends together, and we're going to place this down inside the stocking and tack it on the inside at this back seam. Keep in mind, if you want a really deep cuff, you're going to need to make a longer loop. I'm going to go ahead and fold the cuff about where I want it. I just want a little petite view of it. So I'm going to tack it right below there to make sure when I do so, it's not going to show from the outside or get in the way of the fold down. I'm going to just feel my way in here. You could turn the stocking inside out too if you want to do it from the other side, but I feel pretty confident about this. I'm just going to pin it in place and then slide it over the free arm to tack it. I'm just going to take some machine tacking stitches across the seam here. Move my pin, and just a few forward and back. Right, that should do it. Just for posterity's sake, I think I'll move up and do a couple more. Maybe someone's been really good this year and their stocking will be nice and full. This one is ready to go. I absolutely love how gorgeous it is, but also so simple. And it's amazing that something so technologically advanced is helping me hang on to these beautiful family heirlooms that have been in my family for years and can now continue to be in my family for many to come. And I guess that means 1 stocking down and 8 to go.